In Claremont, Durban, a family of 5 is having a quiet indoor New Year's Eve as the requirements of COVID-19 regulations. The Nzama family says while COVID-19 has restricted their movements, they intend on ushering in the new year together, respecting regulations while awaiting the countdown to 2021. Now, Newzroom Africa's Bonga is with the family. We'll get back to him in a moment. On to this now. Health Minister Dr. Mkize has pleaded with South Africans to have safe New Year's Eve celebrations in what has been a very difficult year globally due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Mkize has once again asked citizens to follow the stipulated health protocols as the country prepares to cross over to 2021.
We would like you to enjoy a very safe and responsible New Year's Eve. We have a curfew, let's remember, to avoid being in large crowded areas with poor ventilation. During the New Year's Eve, we need to be indoors and avoid milling out in the streets because those are the super spreader events that have got a risk of spreading the infection. Let's enjoy our New Year's Eve indoors, within our homes, without having to spread the infection to all the others out there in the street.
Now, as indicated earlier, our reporter spread across South Africa, just giving us the very latest in various provinces. Now, in Claremont, Durban, a family of 5 is having a quiet indoor New Year's Eve as the requirements of COVID-19 regulations. The Nzama family says while COVID-19 has restricted their movements, they intend on ushering in the new year together, respecting regulations while awaiting the countdown to 2021. Newzroom Africa's Bonga is there. Bonga, how is the family planning to spend this rather quiet New Year's Eve during this time?
Good evening, Nat. Yes, a quiet evening here in Claremont. I'm at the Nzama family home. And we're basically, they're preparing for 2021 in a fashion that they say for them is normal, but under strict regulations of COVID-19. So there's a braai expected later on. The food is going on the stoves. But I want someone to give me more details. Is the man of the house, he says. His name is Simo Nzama. But Simo, thank you for joining me this time. Like, it's 2020. We are going to 2021 in a few hours. As a family, is this how normal you spend your time indoors together?
It's very much normal to us, but it's slightly different, to be quite honest. Like in 2019, we were more jovial, we were more happy, more welcoming other families and friends and so forth. But this time around, we are more intimate. We are just few. It's me, my wife, my grandmother, like my mother and my uncle and so forth. So yeah, we are keeping it tight simply because we don't know what is happening right now. The government or the president has said, let us try our level best to stay indoors.
Now, when we talk about COVID-19, we talk about, the infectious disease, wearing social distance, mask and everything like that. But there's also the curfew. How's the curfew been, knowing that at 12 o'clock you can't go outside to the street and count down to 2021? Is that going to change significantly for you?
Bonga, it's totally different. It's something that we are so not used to be quite honest. Simply because singabantu, like Uncle did mention this earlier on, when it's 12 o'clock, after the firecrackers, we quickly go to the neighbors and check them and tell them, hey, we are still alive, we've entered, pagati inside. But this time around, it's different. Even if after 12, we're going to be praying, and then after having a little bit of fun, but not like in 2019. Things are changing, my friend. Like I was saying earlier on, like in the speed of the light. And we need to get used to Shinjo, because if we are not, there's so much things that are going to change, my friend. Believe in me. Let me talk about something different. Let me talk about jobs. Jobs are fading away. And we are in a situation whereby we need to expect something new. We need to invent new jobs. So if we can't play along what is currently happening right now, woe unto us. We need to understand, like I was saying earlier on, that we need to adapt. And if we don't adapt, we're going to die. That's how it is.
Also, I get the seriousness of that, but I want to get to the plans. Well, what's going to happen tonight? Give us a bit of, maybe that's the thing to look forward to. As a family, how are you going to do this? This indoors New Year's Eve?
Okay, you know why I'm laughing? Because I'm a dancer, whether it's dark or blue, I'll be dancing inside this house. Watch this place. I hope and I wish that you're going to be with us. But whatever dance move that you're going to see are going to be within. We're not going out. It's not about us dancing for us to be seen by the crowds and other people. Inside. Intimacy is the name of the game, and tranquility, it's always important. We gotta be safe. We need to see 2021. Yes, 2020 has been a little bit challenging, but we need to expect new things. Innovation is the name of the game. Innovation. So if we can't comply right now, it means we are not going to see 2021, 22, and so forth. Remember, I want to say something. I want to be brief and straight to the point. In 1919 or 1920, if I'm not mistaken, there was something called Spanish flu, and it really swept people away. But there were people that remained. And there was something called 1976 massacre or something like that in Soweto. There are people who have survived that. There was something called HIV and AIDS. People died in numbers, but they did survive. There are people that are still alive even up to this day. So even now, I want to say to people at home that, listen, be at home. These too shall pass. I want people to see more possibilities and see beyond what is currently happening.
As you hear it from yourself there, Unati, a man who says that while they understand why they have to be indoors, it does not mean he can't break out a dance number or two. It does not mean that he can't have fun with his family. And also certainly it does not mean that he can't usher in 2021 with optimism, because we have to adapt to how things are happening. And COVID-19 is basically that, adapt to the new reality.
And, Bonga, your guest, Mr. Nzama, I think is speaking, for many South Africans at the moment, many of them who are heeding government's call to stay indoors, but primarily not because of, just what is happening around us, but also just thinking about the future. And I like what he said, in terms of this is an opportunity for many South Africans, to just think outside the box, to use this opportunity, whilst it be a pandemic, to be innovative and try and come up with new ways of doing business, because we have lost not only lives but also livelihoods.
Exactly, Unati. And while before we came on air right now, the weather here quickly changed from humidity and hot weather to quickly thunderstorms and heavy rain. So that's another sign, if you want to believe, of basically trying to tell people you should not be in the streets right now. I mean, we can complain and complain about how government has issued these regulations of us being restricted to our homes from 9 p.m. We have to celebrate 2021 by not being in clubs or streets or in taverns or in also beaches, but by basically being indoors. But that's basically speaking to the theme of saying you have to adapt, play with the new rules, because there's so many people who have lost more. Lives have been lost. People are hospitalized. Others don't have jobs anymore. But for us here, we're still here. The second wave is coming. There's a new variant of COVID-19. So it is a bit of a sacrifice to do by having New Year's Eve indoors, but things could be worse. And I think that's what Mr. Nzama is saying also, is that things could be worse, and this is not the end. This is not the end of the world. Things will get better, and basically the new rules are here. You have to find a way to play within them, or you'll face the might of the law, as Begekele has promised.
Indeed, Bonga, things could be worse. All right, Bonga Dlulani coming to us live there from Clement.